Welcome to Better Than Yesterday. I'm Adam Churchman here with the homie Oliver Saunders.
What up?
We are really excited for today's episode. We just want to say thank you to our Better Than Yesterday community. We're really appreciative for all the love, all of the support, and just want to do the reminder, we do it at the start of every show. If you are new to the show, please hit subscribe on the YouTube, follow on the Spotify, and if you really find value in the conversations that we're having, the BTY community only grows with your support. So please, if this is an episode or there's a previous episode that you really got a lot out of, please share the content with your friends. The reels, the full-length episodes, it really goes a long way to help this community grow, and we only get better together.
We appreciate you guys, and let's get into it.
Yeah, so today, we got a great guest today, and we're going to just dig in and have some real talk, to be honest with you. We've got our homie Lance here. Lance, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for coming out here, my man. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
So Lance, I think Oliver kind of connected with you guys through fitness and through the gym, with your wife, and we are just really excited to chat. I've been watching some of your Instagrams, and the passion that you have in life, I think is really inspiring. It's like a no holds barred, no bullshit type, straight, direct, let's focus on shit. Do you want to give people a little bit of background about who you are, what you do, and then we'll just roll from there?
Okay. Well, right now, I'm a mental health therapist with that's focusing in on addiction right now. But I do work for a private practice, and that's more mental health, marriage issues. So I do that. And one of the things that people say about me as far as where I work is passion. And we were kind of discussing that before this went on. And I really truly believe that if you're not passionate, then I believe that you're in a wrong environment, the wrong lane. So I'm really passionate about what I do, and that's what it is.
So how did you get into this world? Because that's a lot of education, a lot of schooling, a lot of expertise to be able to deal with, essentially with people and challenges that people are going through. How did you get into that world?
By accident. Literally by accident. I did not know what I was going to do. I knew I needed to do something. So I went to college and talked to an advisor, and she said business. I'm like, She said this. I said, no. She said, you know what? We ran through the whole book, so what's left? She said, try psychology. I was like, okay. So I did that, and that's what led me here pretty much.
Wow.
Did you have interest in psychology growing up?
Not one bit.
No. It just went straight in. And are you the type of person, though, that when you get into something, you're in it?
Yes. Yeah, there is no middle. And I'm not saying that I'm all the way in this, but I have found success in this.
Right.
I have seen people's lives change, which kept me in there longer in this environment.
That's what I was going to say. What was the switch? Because you said you weren't into psychology at first. What was the switch once it was brought up that you were like, maybe this does interest me?
There was a place that I was working in San Diego, and I remember this guy, he had an opiate addiction, and his wife dropped him off at the clinic. And she was very upset with him. And she said, if you don't get this done, you don't have a home to come back to. So after 2 days, he wanted to leave. And after talking to him and he ended up staying, I was like, something clicked, what you were saying.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe there is something to this.
Something bigger than you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I got people texting me and saying, hey, I'm in California right now. If it wasn't for your teaching or wasn't for something you said, I wouldn't be out here. Hey, man, I'm in a gym. Hey, I got my kids back. Hey, I got a car. I'm in a car. So every time somebody gets a car, they show up at my job and like, look what I got.
Hey,
I'm like,
man,
that's what I'm talking about.
That's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, so that right there keeps me dialed in.
That's amazing.
And I really, 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 really like when seeing the change in people, seeing that click. When they come into my group, they're just like kind of down and out.
Beaten down.
Yeah, some video I would show or some discussion that we're discussing, you just see it.
That light switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they just start to take their recovery seriously, and you can just get to see how much that changes their environment, how much it changes their family. So yes,
it's a crazy thing because like I said, I've had addiction issues and everything, and it's like you said, it changes. It's such a bigger thing than people think. When you're in it, you're on so many substances and stuff that you're like, oh, it's just me. It's just happening to me. But like you said, it's like, you know, you have the person that dropped you off that's rooting for you.
Right.
You have family members that are crying,
Yes.
that are, you know what I mean, going through it because they love you and they're seeing this person that's not you. And every day, if you continue to do substance, you get further and further away from the you that they loved. And I mean, that's just, you know, it's a crazy thing that we just have to remember. I feel like we just have to sort of remember that we're doing it to the people that we love as well.
That's what people forget.
It's not only, and then they have things like, you know, like Al-Anon and stuff like that, where they sort of help people deal with it too, because it's not just it. If you're doing something negative, it affects anybody that loves you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's an amazing thing that you're doing, not only for the people that you're doing it with, but I mean, I'm sure, you know, there's families that are forever grateful
Yes.
for you. There's, you know what I mean? There's kids that, like you said, they get to be back with their parents and not back with their parents on the wrong terms.
Right.
Not back with their parents just because it's like, okay, this is just a situation.
Yes.
Because they turned it around. So that's a beautiful thing, brother, man. That's a beautiful thing.
And I often say that, and take it into a spiritual aspect, I often say that evil loves an audience. So it's not that person per se. It's the damage through that person that the evil can do.
Right.
So when you're in addiction or when you're over on that side, it pretty much already has you, even though you have a way that you can even though any situation or any change can be made, as of right then and there, that spirit has you. So it's not about you, it's about your mom. It's about your kids looking at you. It's about your dad. It's about how much trouble can I cause your family? How many sleepless nights can I get your mom not to sleep? How many arguments can I get your dad and mom to get into because of you? How much of an influence of your younger brother and sister can I get so that I traumatize your younger brother or sister so that they may be more likely to follow in your footsteps.
Right.
It's really about that. And that's what I'm combating. Just a whole kind of gamut, I guess, the entirety of it.
Right. So, you know, that's a heavy world to live in. It's a heavy, like, for the person, but for you, like, that's a heavy world to be going in. Essentially, you're going to battle every day.
Right.
You've got the success stories. How do you, or but maybe better question is, do you ever get a time to turn off that switch? Because the success stories are great, but I'm going to guess that there are a lot of stories that aren't successful.
Yes.
How do you manage that?
Speaking of that, I don't know how many times I've hugged people on a Friday and they're dead by Monday.
Damn.
But that's real.
Yeah.
That's real.
They go to parties, they
Yeah.
do whatever. And I mean, these people, you would not, if me and that person was sitting in the Starbucks, you couldn't tell that they were out.
Right.
You could tell. You couldn't tell if they were that they came from the tunnels or they didn't have anything or they burned every bridge they ever had. These people are just people. When you're talking, when they come to this group, you can see how bright they are.
Right.
And I'm like, that's why you're being attacked.
Right.
That.
Right.
There's so much potential in you.
Right.
Right. That's the thing that they say too. A lot of, you know, you never meet like a drug addict or somebody that doesn't have like a story. They have something. You know what I mean? That's what you're saying.
A skill, a talent, a gift.
I think that it's really cool that you look at it as a deeper thing, and then I think that it's great that you also sort of say you are this person, and then this is that evil thing, because I feel like when you're in that spot, you just think I'll just fuck up everything. I'm just the worst. I just can't do anything right. And the fact that you come at it and you're like, look, I'm talking to that thing. Like, it's not, you could be something else.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're not trapped in this box where you have to be this person.
Yeah.
And it's just choices. But go ahead.
But I was just gonna say, but it's like how like you hug a guy on a Friday and he's dead on Monday. Like, how do you compartmentalize? How do you not take that home? Or do you take it home?
No, I don't. I never took. I've been doing this particular location for about 7 years straight, and sometimes 7 days a week. And I never taken it home, and I never let it take a toll on me. One thing my mom told me that I don't think she knew how powerful it was, but I remember me growing up, and sometimes, you know, growing up, you act up and you do foolish things.
Absolutely.
And she used to say, you know what? God is not going to tell me that I didn't tell you.
You know,
I told you.
You know
So-
what? And that's real, because it's like I can only tell you something. I can't. At the end of the day, you can't make anybody do anything.
Right. Right.
Can't,
But
you
if
can't
you
make them drink.
if
Yeah,
you
feed
if
'em
you
water.
genuinely feel like I did everything that I can, and it doesn't work out, it's like at least I did everything
Right.
that I can.
I mean, I leave it all out.
I can see that.
You
I can see
people,
that. I could-
yeah, when the doors are closed, they hear me on the hallways. And I remember working at another location, and somebody came up to me and say, "I miss hearing your voice down the hallway. It carries." I'm not yelling,
Right.
like you said, just passionate. And so I give you everything.
Right.
So I go into my office in between breaks or something, and I decompress. But knowing that I gave you everything that I possibly could, and knowing that you do have the tools to unlock a great future, now it's up to you to pick it up and use it.
Right.
And not just use it for a day or a week, continue to maintain it until death. And so that's one thing that a lot of people just in life, not even addiction, just in general life, marriage, cars, success, they get it, but they don't have the maintenance factor. So
That's a big difference.
I love that, the maintenance factor. It's like you
Keeping
need to
it.
keep working.
Keeping
You
it.
need to keep working. It's not a one day. It's an everyday. Like I mean, that's personal development for everything, right? You know, you're in the gym. That's awesome. You were at the gym on Monday. That means nothing on Tuesday,
Right.
Thank you.
It's a new day.
thank you.
Right.
Right. If
Right.
people can get that.
right?
Right.
Every day starts
that-
out at zero.
Is that something that you sort of come across a lot? Is that
Yes. And I say, because people come in and they're zealous, and PHP is our first introduction to the world of recovery. So it's a PHP group. So they come like motivated.
right?
You
Right.
know, like January at the gym.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Right.
you know, I tell them, good that you are excited about your recovery. You should. But let's see what happens when you're not. Let's see when the switch happens from motivation to discipline.
Yeah.
I remember when I was on drugs, when I was ever trying to get off, I would get off for a little while, and then I'd start feeling good. I'd be like, okay, maybe I could do this, and then I'd come up against something, and then right before you know it, you're right back in the same hole or even a worse hole. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was just like it was
Because
just a revolving.
because you're operating on your feelings. You're operating on like, do I feel excited about this? Am I motivated to do
Right.
this today? Instead of on the discipline. Like we had an episode actually about
Right.
the difference between motivation and
Big
discipline.
difference.
There's a huge difference, and I listened to a guy named Andy Frisella a fair bit, and he talks about the trait of discipline as a skill. Like it's not like, you hear a lot of people be like, well, I'm not like you. Like, Oliver, you're just so disciplined. I'm just not built that way. And he's like, that's not how it is.
No,
Discipline
right.
is not you're born with thing. Discipline is a muscle thing that you create and build.
It's a habit.
And a skill. And like any skill, if you don't use it, you will lose it. It's not this like, I'm just not built. I'm just not a disciplined person. It's like, it's a skill set that you need to build.
Right.
Right. And I think that's what takes people from, being average or below to being great. It's like, how's your discipline to become?
Showing up the days that you don't want to, like you said,
Ooh, yes.
when you first come in, and you've been down, you were just sleeping on the streets. Now you got a little bit of food in you, you got a little bit of rest in you. You're like, I want to do this. But when you come up against something, when the day you're not feeling right, the day you feel like you you know what I mean? That's when it really counts.
That's it.
That's when it's really going to show who you are and who you're becoming.
And what you've learned.
Right.
So what's the first encounter like for you? Because if we've got listeners, the thing that I love talking in this conversation is like we make little references of discipline, motivation. It's like the gym. It's like this. Like it can be used in all elements of life, and so
Yes.
people can take these attributes and maybe they're like, I don't struggle with addiction. Doesn't fucking matter. You can take the same skill sets and apply them to your life, and you'll get better at whatever you're doing.
100%.
But for the people listening, and let's be honest, in the world that we live in today, like addiction, like you said, like you can see people and not have any idea that they're struggling with anything, right? What's that first step or first interaction with you when they're like, I'm ready? What does day one look like?
That's a good question, because I never really thought about that. It's just a normal introduction, because that's what it is.
Right.
There's a couple of people that said, I love your groups, or I love the way you come at us, because you come at us like we're people. And I'm like, how's people coming at you?
Right.
Yeah, for real though.
Right.
For real though.
I mean, because, and I tell them, I was like, I'm no different than you. It's the only thing that separates anybody is the degree of choice.
Right.
If I made your choice, I'll be you. And
I'll
if
be
you
right.
made my choice, you'll be sitting here.
Right.
That's the only thing. And I can make choices to be where you are just like you can with me.
That's very
That's
true.
it.
I love that.
That's
And so that keeps me humble in everything, realizing that all the people were like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Well, I'm sure if I looked at your life, there's something that I can't believe you did.
Right.
Right.
The arrogance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. No. Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
I love that perspective. My dad often says something similar where he's like, if given the same life, you'd probably make the same choices that other person made.
Thank you.
Right?
Right.
And so that's helped me because, I've talked about sometimes I can get a little judgmental. Sometimes I've overcome this. Why can't you overcome this? Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? But to be able to take a step backwards and have that humble mindset to be like, I would be where you were, but I'd made this choice.
Yeah.
It immediately takes you from like a hierarchy position and it brings you level with each other to be able to connect as people.
Right.
I know that would make me feel good. And like I said, because when you go into a place of rehabilitation, it's not like you're going there because you got shit figured out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're down, you're out, you're dirty, you know what I mean? And
It's
so
kinda- yeah.
So the fact that somebody that's not, you know what I mean? Usually you're around other dirty people. You're around other people that are doing the same drug. You're around people that have the same thought. But to go and to speak to one of the first people that you speak to that's clean, obviously takes care of themselves, and to be like, yo, look, I could be you and you could be me. I just feel like it's like, wow, okay, we're actually like people, like you said.
It instantly gives people hope too.
hope.
Wow,
That's,
yeah.
Which
And
I
I
would
wasn't even trying to do that. It's just
yeah.
who you
I
are.
thought that that's the best way to do it. Not even think. That's just that's who I am.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Never thought about
But
it.
I think you hit it on the head. That gives people hope because sometimes when you're in that addiction, you feel like you are so far from being a good person, being a sober person that's not even a possibility.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, I remember I told you when people used to be like, oh, you can't do drugs forever. I'd be like, forever? Okay, I'm like, I could do it for a couple of weeks, but like, I'm never gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like you get so far ahead of yourself that you start fucking up things and thinking about things that aren't even there. Or
Right, a lot of people do that. Future trip is what they call it, right?
Future trip.
Yeah.
Explain that to the future trip.
So basically, like the way that I see it is, you start thinking about things that are so far in the future that you start fucking up things that are right here in the present, right in front of you,
Yeah.
not even knowing. Like you get sometimes I think the worst thing. If I'm about to get on a flight, I'll be like, oh, what if the flight crashes, bro? And then I have to think. I'm like, there's a million flights every day. I've been on flights my whole life.
Right.
That
Right.
you're more likely to get bitten by a shark. But if you let your mind start doing these things, and then before you know it, you're starting to think negatively. You're blocking positive interactions you could have.
Self-sabotage.
So
Yes.
you start
Yeah.
self-sabotage.
All because you're in the future.
right for something that may never even happen.
Right.
Right.
And often doesn't.
Right. And often doesn't.
Right.
And often doesn't.
And so in your work, like it can be a bit of a roller coaster, right? Like
yeah.
there's like, I mean, some people are able to be like, I want to stop. And they're like, boom, done. But how do you walk through, I think this could be a life lesson for all of us, but how do you walk through failure with clients or with people you're working with, because maybe they don't get it right the first time or the second time, but if you keep with it, you're going to get it at maybe the third or fourth time.
Yes.
How do you walk through those roller coasters and walk through failure with people who failure can mean dying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I was going to say. Thank you for touching on that. As long as you have breath, you have a chance. So you are alive. So you have a chance. But I do say that, because people, well, Michael Jordan, it took him time. Okay, well, this is not basketball. Like you said, you can die your next hit.
Right.
So this is not like basketball. This is not like trying your favorite sport or whatever, a recipe, and you burned a cake. This ain't none of that.
Right.
You can keep trying that cake recipe until
You make it perfect.
right.
But
you can't apply that to crack. You can't apply that to all that stuff. So
For real.
yeah, you can't do that. So I give them a sense of urgency at the same time, letting them know you have breath, so the next time you can do better. Also, I also tell them that, not to scare, but just reality, is that the reality is that death isn't the only bad thing that could happen to you.
Oh, for sure.
Your brain can literally crack.
Right.
So you're alive, but you're talking to a tree.
Right.
Now you're done.
Right.
Game over with that. Because once your mind is,
It's wrap.
that's it now.
That's it.
Now you're talking to that tree.
You're not coming back.
And
from
you
that.
make a good point. So again, I live just outside of Vancouver, BC, and we have a huge, kind of like Skid Row in
Yeah,
the
I seen
downtown
that.
east side
Yeah.
in Vancouver. And one of the things, and you'll probably be able to talk to this more than I am for sure, so much of the conversation is mental health and addiction. And a lot of the times, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of the mental health is not like the chicken birth or the egg. It's like the addiction brings more mental health issues for them, right? Like,
For sure.
I was fine, but I've done crystal meth or crack for so long. Now my brain is fried. Now my mental health is a result of my addiction. I'm not addicted because of my mental health. I'm mental health because of my addiction.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of people sometimes just don't have that understanding of like, this isn't just about ODing. This is about your brain.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of people who self-medicate, so sometimes there would be a mental health issue before the addiction, so they self-medicate. But then I say, what type of mentality goes in that direction? If I followed you back maybe 50 choices before you made that choice, it's probably not good ones.
Right.
So you just fell in line with another bad one. Because a lot of people just go to the doctor.
Right.
And grab some prescription for bipolar or for ADD, ADHD, things like that.
Right.
A lot of people say, hey, my doctor prescribed me this, and then he stopped giving it to me, so I went to a street dealer.
Right.
Okay.
Bad choice.
Thank you.
Right.
So what choices were you making before you made that? Because that's not a normal choice to stop a medication from a doctor and hit the streets.
And hit the street.
Right,
You're
yeah.
That's a
your
big
thought
thing.
process
Come
is
on
off.
now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you can't put it on a doctor. Stop.
Right.
Because there's people who just taper down or say, well, the doctor said no, I'm
Right.
done.
Right. That's it. Right.
You have to figure out why you didn't do that.
Right.
It's not the doctor, it's you personally. Something in your mind said, well, I don't have to stop. I don't need to listen to the doctor.
Right.
I can do whatever I want. Okay, you can.
Right.
But not absence of consequences.
Right, I was about to say, but now you're gonna have to Now
Right.
you're gonna have to deal with doing whatever. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anything and everything to shift the blame. But that's just not an addiction. That's just the world we live in right now.
100.
Everybody's pointing to everybody but themselves.
Right.
Yeah. It's easier to do.
Yes, it is.
And I
It's
love
easier
that
to do.
like not absence of consequences is a huge one. It's like you can
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
can do it.
Do
And this
whatever
is
you want.
true of anything in life. Like whether we bring it back to it, you can eat like shit, but not absence of consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
You can smoke cigarettes, not absence of consequences.
Right.
Thank you.
Like all of those things you can do,
Right.
but there's a cost.
Right.
Yeah.
And people don't even, most of the time, they don't even think that far. Or they think arrogantly, like, the stove is hot for him.
Right.
But I can touch it.
Not for me.
Right.
It's different for me.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's just arrogance. It's just arrogance. And, the Bible talks about that. Pride, fall comes after pride. So,
Yeah.
life has a good way and strange way and cool ways to humble you.
Yeah.
So I just rather humble myself. I don't really want to have life to do it.
Right.
It's easier that way.
Right? Just let me go ahead and humble myself because I don't even want to go through your lesson plan life.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No,
Right.
No,
Yeah, the
that's-
School of
don't.
Hard Knocks is not the only school to enroll in.
Right. You can't just
That's
watch
hilarious.
people touch the stove and say, I'm not going to do it.
Right. Or it's going to be different for
Yeah,
me. Like,
yeah.
why would you think? Yeah.
I'm not registering at that school. I'll go to this school.
You're right. It is a form of arrogance because it's like, why would you just think that? Why would you think that you're better or different than what happens to everybody else?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you think that the thought process is one of the what do you think is one of the first things that you need to change in helping somebody with their recovery?
Their emotional focus or because you said something earlier, and I think that's really what addiction is, and I think that's what really any bad thing in people's lives can be traced back to an emotion. So that's why in my group I preach about logic. If you go back in your life and you realize the times in your life that were upside down, wrong, and bad, I can find an emotion that you believed.
I try to tell my son, this is one of the biggest things I try to tell him. I'm like, OJ, he's Oliver Jr. I say, OJ, make sure if you could do one thing for me in life, I said, try not to make decisions when you're emotional.
Thank you.
I say, Dad, I've been through it. I've made a lot of decisions. If you could just take when something happens, you react. No, take a second,
Breathe.
Take a breath. You know what I mean? And realize and try to, like you said, logic. Logic is better than emotional.
Right.
You make an emotional decision 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go right.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to act too much. You're not going to act enough. But if you can sort of just slow it down and realistically try to assess the situation, I think that'll be the best result.
Exactly.
Easier said than done.
Yes, but you got to get it done, or remember, you're not absence of consequences.
Right.
I tell-
Easier said than done, or really hard if not done.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's that H word. Every time somebody can't do something, they say that.
Hard.
Right.
It's hard, as if that's the stopping point. That's when you should want to do it.
That's
Yeah.
You know what, and I've been hearing this so much. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. We've been saying that, right? So it's like in anything that comes easy isn't, it's great, whatever. But the things that you work harder for, you appreciate them more.
Right.
There's a chapter in Andy Frazilla's book, the book on mental toughness, where it's like happy is on the other side of hard. It's like doing hard things. It's inevitable.
Right.
Everything that's worthwhile is hard, right? Building a successful business is hard. Having a healthy relationship is hard.
Yep.
Like, if you're trying to avoid hard, good luck.
Yeah.
Right.
You're never going to, no matter what path you take in life, whether you're making really bad decisions that are going to give you really terrible like endings, or if you're making really good decisions, hard still shows up in some way,
Yeah.
right? Like, getting better is hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Period.
And go ahead.
No, you go. No, go ahead, Lance.
Unfortunately, people think there's an easy way because that particular hard became easy for them. So it became easy to manipulate. It became easy not to care about your mom's tears. It became easy to be broke. It became easy to be in that relationship that you know is not going anywhere. So that's what they mean by, oh, well, I just no, but that's hard though. Isn't it hard to be in a relationship that you know that person doesn't love you?
Right.
Right.
Right. That's hard.
Yeah, so you got to the point where now that's easy?
Right. Right.
Yikes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Right.
Right.
In a
Right.
trash can. There ain't nothing to go in a trash can to get my lunch. Wait. You got to the point where that's easy?
Right.
Right.
Right. And it's crazy, like you said, it's all choices. Anybody can make these choices. Anybody, you know what I mean? You make a couple of wrong choices, and before you know it, something that you would never do is something you're like, wow, now I'm coming up against.
Yeah.
And that's what I try not to do. I try not to get comfortable in hell. I try not to get comfortable in situations where I know it's wrong. I try not to make myself like anything. Like in high school, I tried, Newport, and I tried something else. And I'm like, God, this is gross. And I didn't try to make myself like it.
Right.
They gave me some beer. I think it was a Corona at first. And I'm like, this is gross, man.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about alcohol? It's the funniest thing. I remember this one time, where I was like, oh, I don't like wine or scotch or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's an acquired taste. It's like, why?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I just have to
Right.
keep drinking it until I like
That's
it
what
enough?
they want you to do.
That's
Right.
fucking
Right.
weird.
And it's funny, now that we're talking, there's so many things that if you think about it, if you were to just think about it, you're like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Like an acquired taste, meaning you don't like this thing.
But you're going to continue to do it just because everybody else is doing it.
to wear yourself out of not liking
Yeah.
it.
Right.
You'll get used to it,
Right.
but I don't want to.
Right.
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 And I think that's a part of people, the whole, I don't know if it's still popular, but it was a popular thing about I'm real, be real, this and that.
Yeah.
That is real. Being real to you.
Yes.
Right.
Being real to, I don't like this, so I'm not going to do it. That's real. But when you make yourself like something that you know you don't like, then that attacks your mental health. And now your mind can't even trust you. Your mind just gave you a signal to say, we don't like this. And you overrid it and said, yes, we do. All right, well, I ain't talking to you no more.
Right.
And
That's
you
a
wonder
really
why your
great
mind-
point, man.
You wonder why your mind is against you.
Right.
You wonder why your mind is fighting you, and you wonder why you can't not make your mind think when you cannot make your mind shut up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
That's because it don't like you, because you never take.
You don't listen to it.
Thank you.
Right.
I always say, and I've learned, your conscience is the authentic word of God. When you're when I'm driving home and I'm talking and I'm like, oh, I have to get the groceries. I got to do my errands.
Right.
That's one voice. But your conscience comes in and it is a different voice, right? It's a clearly different voice. And the way that I understand it, that's Holy Spirit, God's talking to you
Yeah.
and he's telling you, because it's not my voice, it's a different voice. And it's
Right.
don't do that. And then you don't listen, right? So no wonder you stop listening to what you're being told not to do over and over.
Right.
And your conscience, voice of God, it doesn't lead you the wrong way.
Right.
Right.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Your gut,
You just
yeah.
don't listen to it.
Right.
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 There's a verse in the Bible, man, and I don't know where it is, and I just read it to you. But anyway, It says something like, God, basically, he'll give you over to your desires. He'll come to
Yes.
you. That one. I love that one. It's like you want to continue to do wrong on purpose when you know that it's wrong, no problem. Now you're going to think wrong is right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay, go
right.
for it.
Right.
That's just why you see people in their element thinking, there's nothing wrong with this. That's because their conscious, what you were talking about, is seared now to
Right.
the point where it's right.
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 There
And that's
is
a
no
dangerous
wrong in
spot
what I'm
because
doing.
you're
That's a
probably not going to
dangerous
come
spot.
back from that.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot harder to undo that work now because
Yes.
you've spent time almost like a muscle, building that muscle up to do the wrong thing.
Right.
Exactly.
Convincing yourself that there's nothing wrong with this.
Right.
Wow. That's
Right.
heavy.
And that's not a good place to be.
That's
No,
not.
it's
No,
not.
it's not.
No, it's not.
Absolutely not.
So Lance, before we head off here, if you had to talk to our audience, we've talked about a whole bunch of stuff today and a lot that is really tangible, like takeaway mindset stuff. And
Yeah.
if you had like one conversation to have with our audience, our listeners, to like leave them with something to make their life better, better than yesterday, what's the character trait, the mindset, that whatever that you would be like, do this or focus in on this area and you'll watch your life get better?
Oh man, that's a good question. I got so much to say, but the one is kind of just peeking through the rest is whatever you want to do it, because what's the alternative if you don't do it? Always look at the alternative. And also, the second thing is, when you get to the point where you just do things because it's right and it doesn't have to feel right, that's, I believe, opens you up to another realm. Like, the things that I don't want to do that I know is good, I do them because it's good. I don't have, it doesn't, like food, for example, like I know what's good for my body. I know what good food is. So I necessarily may not want to eat it,
Right.
but it's good, so I'll do it.
Right. Right.
When I wake up in the morning, maybe I don't want to feel like working out, hitting the gym at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
But I do it because it's right.
Right. Right. And once you just get those habits and it's natural, that's how you know.
Right. And what's the alternative if I don't go to the gym? What's the alternative if I don't eat right? Then by default, I eat bad.
Right.
Right.
If I don't go forward, then what's the alternative? I go back.
I've always, there's no such thing as staying still.
No.
Not at all.
There's none. Like you're either progressing
Yep.
or regressing.
Thank you.
There's no I'm just here.
Just
Like
maintaining.
if you're here and it's yesterday or it's tomorrow and you're still here, you're behind now.
Right.
You're not going forward. You're not staying the same. You're getting worse.
Right.
Right?
That's it
Right.
right there.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much for being here. Can you let our guests know, I always say our guests. Can you let our listeners know if they want to follow along with you and like hear more of your content
Yes.
and stuff? How can people find you?
Pro Solutionist on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, that's it.
Okay,
That's it, man.
man.
We appreciate you, Lance. Thank you so much for taking
Oh,
time
man.
out of your
Thank you for
schedule.
having me,
This
man.
has
Thank
been this has been a
Yeah.
great podcast, and we'll definitely have you back on.
Yeah, we
I
could
think
talk for a long time.
Yeah, I could
Absolutely,
tell. You could
absolutely.
just-
It's
yeah.
just natural. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
So, you guys, appreciate you guys. Thank you for checking out this episode of Better Than Yesterday. You will definitely see Lance again on that podcast. Appreciate you guys.
Take care.